So I am talking about the fibroid. So what is the fibroid? Fibroid is the benign tumor that occurs in the uterus in the females. And the most common characteristic of the fibroids, as it is the benign tumor, doesn't mean it cannot lead into the malignancy. So if a female patient, or if you are getting USG, and in USG means ultrasonography, if you find the findings ki you have a fibroid, then please go on and must do its management or the treatment, because fibroid is the most common benign tumor in the uterus or in the pelvic region of the female. And it can never be painful. Like in early stages it is never be painful. If it becomes painful, it becomes painful in the later stages, when the benign tumor is getting converted into the malignancy. As this fibroid occurs in the uterus, so the location of the fibroid is the myometrium. So as we know, the uterus is having the three layers: perimetrium, myometrium, and the endometrium. Endometrium is the one which is shed during the menstruation period. I mean, the endometrium is also having the two sublayers. The first one is the superficial layer, and the second is the basal layer. So the superficial layer gets shed during the menstrual period, but the one which is the myometrium, which is actually responsible for the contraction of the muscles, and that is the location of the fibroid. So fibroid usually occur in the myometrium, so that is why we call it as a leiomyoma, because the myometrium is having the smooth muscles. So the age where the most common age of the fibroid is 30 to 40 years old in females. Why 30 to 40 years? Because the fibroid is actually dependent on the estrogen and the progesterone level. So more commonly it is dependent only on the estrogens. So the females who belong from 30 to 40 years of the age group, it is because during the reproductive age the estrogen level is quite higher in the females in the reproductive age, because it is a hormone dependent fibroid. So what happens ki, if a female having a early menarche means if she is getting a menstrual period like before 14 years, before 13 years, like if she has started menstruation at menstrual period before 12 to 13 years of old, and is getting like higher it is getting more than 45 years until 50 years, if she is getting menstrual bleeding. So what it means ki the estrogen levels in her body is quite higher, and so this increase in estrogen level in the females, which is having a pre-menarche and the in the post menopausal women. So what happened in these female, the estrogen content is very high, which leads to the leiomyoma or the fibroid, which is a risk factor. And apart from this, the females who are obese, they are having a which are more prone to the fibroid, because what happens in the obese female, there is a more subcutaneous tissue, and what happens in the subcutaneous tissue, the androgen gets converted into the estrogen, even estrogen, because of the aromatase enzyme. Aromatase enzymes are present in the subcutaneous tissue. So what happens then in the females which are obese, having the more subcutaneous tissue or the subcutaneous fat? So what happens in this subcutaneous fat, the androgen gets converted into the estrogens, and this higher level of estrogen in the obese female is responsible and the risk factor for the fibroid. So, and this aromatase enzyme, which is converting this androgen into the estrogen, it is also present in the non-obese females also, but it is very necessary to get converted this androgen into the estrogens, because this estrogen is responsible for the development of the secondary sexual characters in females, and while the androgen is also required for the libido in the females, as well as for the development of the axial and the pubic hairs in the females. So The aromatase enzyme, which is responsible in obese female, which convert this androgen into the estrogen. So what happens? This aromatase enzyme can be inhibited by the smoking. So smoking is the preventive factor in obese females to get rid of the fibroid, but please make sure smoking is never recommended in any cases, because if you get treated for the fibroid, or if you are managing your fibroid just because of smoking, so it will also lead to some other complication and other tumors of your pharyngeal wall or of your lungs or trachea, and may also cause the breathlessness respectively. So we please never smoke in terms of the prevention from the fibroid. So as I have told, this fibroid is a benign tumor. So what happened in the menopause women, the women which is having age more than 40 years, or the one which have stopped the menstrual cycle, so what happens, this benign tumor gets converted into the malignancy type, and which is really riskful, and which is really never recommended. So if you are getting symptoms that I am going to list up, please watch this video till end, because these symptoms are literally very necessary every woman to watch, for their purpose and for their relative purpose. It is really helpful. So actually the fibroid is the benign tumor. So the most common presentation is actually none. So female always will be thinking she is having nothing, because it is really asymptomatic in beginning, and it takes a lot of time to get its symptoms. So what happened, there can be an accidental finding of the fibroid. So suppose any female patient who is going for her USG ultrasonography, and suddenly a doctor will find out that she might having a fibroid, or she is suffering from the fibroid, because on USG fibroid can be easily visible as a homogeneous structure centrally placed. So the females can never get to know that she is going through the fibroid, because it is having no symptoms. And even I'll talk about the symptoms like which may or may not come, or which come afterwards. So the most common symptom which can come afterwards, after the disease will get progress, it will be the menorrhagia. In medical terms, the menorrhagia means there will be the increase in the blood. So what will be increase in the blood during the menstrual period? So what will be happening that the normal woman bleeds up to the 6 days, maximum till 6 days. So what happens if the blood is coming more than 6 days, more than 7 days, or during the cycle she is changing like pads frequently during the night, fully soaked blood pads. So if her pad is completely blood soaked fully, and she's like normally usually women change pads during night, one or hardly two they change, but if she's changing her fully blood soaked pad more than 2 or 3 times, which is completely full of blood, so normally the amount of the blood that should be present during the menstrual period around the 70 ml. So if the blood volume is more than 70 ml, it can be the dangerous and the sign or the symptom for the fibroid. So as I told, the females who is suffering from the fibroid can never have or can rarely have a presentation. So it is an accidental finding which does by upon the USG or ultrasonography. So and menorrhagia is it's like symptom which will be seen after the later stages of the fibroid. And along with that, there can be also the dysmenorrhea. The term is a medical term which is meant for the pain, like heavy pain during the menstrual cycles or in between the cycles. So there can be or cannot be the dysmenorrhea or the pain, to be honest. So along with this, what the most common not most common, but the complications that can occur during the fibroid, because if it is a circle and our uterus is placed centrally, posteriorly means behind there will be the rectum, and anteriorly there will be the urethra. So what will be happening if the fibroid will getting dilated, uterus will get dilated if the fibroid go into the advanced stages. So what will happen, it will lead to the it will exert pressure of the anteriorly on the your urethra, and the posteriorly it can apply pressure or can exert pressure over the rectum, and then laterally it can exert pressure on the ureters. So what will happen if it will exert pressure anteriorly on the urethra? So there will be the retention of the urine. If there will be the retention of the urine in the female suffering from the suffering from the fibroid, so what will be happening, there will be the abdominal pain or the pelvic pain, and because of the retention of the urine, what will happen, there will be the like pain, of course pain will be there, and there can be the and the bacterial infection can occur in the urine retention. And the posteriorly there will be the, it will exert pressure over the rectum. So what will happen, there will be the pain in during the your rectal. So there will be the constipation, like frequent constipation can occur, and on the laterally it can exert pressure over the ureter. So there will be the renal problems, that can be the secondary problems. And apart from that, there can be the infertility as well. So the another complication of the fibroid is the infertility. So yeah, infertility happens in 1 to 3% of cases. So in mathematically it is just 1 to 3%, but if we think if that one or if we can come under those 1 to 3%, then it can be the life changing for us. So we don't want to fall this in 1 to 3% of category. But yeah, fibroid may lead to the infertility in 1 to 3% of cases. At because of the disbalance of the estrogen and progesterone level, it do not allow sperm to implant into the uterus. So if you won't allow implantation of the fetus into the uterus, so there will be the infertility, and which is really dangerous for any mother, any woman. So the management part I'll tell in my another video. So I hope ki investigation I'll tell you, if you guys any mother or sister, if you are getting your periods more than 6 days or having the heavily menstrual bleeding, so please go for USG ultrasonography, transvaginal ultrasonography, so that you can confirm if there can be the fibroid, because fibroid is asymptomatic. It can never show symptoms early. So only the developmental stages or advanced stages shows the symptoms. But anyhow, if you get any clue ki you are getting abnormal bleeding, so please go and do your USG investigation, and please get to know if you are getting fibroid or some other conditions. In other video I'll be telling about what are the abnormal uterine bleedings, or what are the abnormal bleedings that happen in the females. So if you have liked my video, please do subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.